Hey guys, welcome back to CHF channel. My name is Josh, aka the Home Fletcher, founder and owner of the CHF YouTube channel, as well as Discord, renewing Discord, and as well as the Telegram service that I do run and operate for free, and VIP services. So it's been a minute, it's been a while, I'm not gonna lie, since I've traded, right? Just last week actually, we traded, and the week before that. But before that, I was sort of absent from the trading space, from the groups and stuff, because some personal issues were going on. But we're back at it, and we're gonna continue making these profits, continue robbing the markets, okay? So just to get started real quick, as you guys would know from the title of this video, this is a Sunday analysis looking at the week ahead for us. And yes, we do trade coming close to Christmas. We do trade every single week. All right, so we're just going to take an overall view of the markets right now, as well as some of the fundamentals that we need to pay attention to, and what we could expect from a price action movement. So you could see actually that we had a pretty good week last week, right? So you can see we had a 1 to 4 right here on some of the trades that was sent, all right, on AUD CAD. We also have some other trades. You can see that the group activity here on the free signals channel is kind of subpar, reason being because of my absence. But hey, we're back at it. We're gonna continue growing, we're gonna continue making profits in these markets. All right, so yeah, you can see that we had some AUD CAD trades played out. We have CAD CHF as well, so you can see that, you know, these trades actually played out pretty nicely. Price continued going up, and we managed to gain a lot of profits, actually a pretty large sum of profits. All right, Euro AUD as well. This was one trade that was sent to coming to the ending of last week, and you can see that it really played out because we also had NFP as well, so that was a factor in the price action movement that we did see. And yeah, overall can't complain. It was a pretty good week. We finished very strongly for the starting of the month, as well as for the month of November. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the fundamental stuff that we do have coming up. All right, and I haven't viewed any of the fundamentals in a while now, but you can see we do have unemployment. We also have inflation for the US, right? So we have CPI coming out for the US. Is something that we should pay attention to. Should have an impact on the price action movement from a psychological factor rather less than a technical factor, right? From a technical aspect, because we are in the month of December. So something that you should take note of is the lack of traded volume that it does have in coming to the ending of the year. All right, that's because businesses for the larger part are closed. Only we have like Christmas shopping stuff going on, but again, you have to think about the economy right now, and if you do that, you would see that those factors don't play a big role in the price action movement because of the lack of them, right? So holiday shopping, stuff like that, businesses are closing down for the holidays. That and all leads to the volume in the markets being kind of subpar compared to the other previous months, okay, and the different quarters of the year. So Q4 really is sort of a slow, it's usually slow. All right, we do have different factors affecting price action movement. I would say that's from more of a political and fundamental standpoint. Okay, we have inflation rate looking to stay the same, right? So this is a change, looking at 0%. We have core inflation rate as well, looking to remain the same. All right, that's it for the Tuesday. Let's see Wednesday. Wednesday we have GDP for the British pound, so that's something we should pay attention to. Look like GDP is going to go down, which would be bearish for the pound dollar. We also have interest rate decisions. Okay, so we have a pretty solid heavy news week. We have interest rate decisions looking to remain the same, so we'll see how this affects the dollar. Again, we don't really have much volume in the market, so it's really anybody's guess as to how the USD would react to this. Usually when we do see no change, right, or we see that, okay, the interest rate decision does come out as expected, it usually leads to a bearish move on the dollar, right? Obviously that is with context, but usually that is the case most of the times. But I would rather prefer to stay out of the US dollar on Wednesday until after the decision has been made. Whatever price action move we do get, if we're going to see a continuation of that move, or if it's just like a wick out and then continuation back from the initial starting of the move, right? So price pushes up bullishly, that candle closes, a bearish candle forms and engulfs that entire bullish push movement. So we'll have to wait and see. This isn't something that I think is worth getting into, trying to bank on the news right now, especially with low volume situations. We have GDP growth for the NZD. So risk assets, I'm not too heavy on the risk side of things, more on the risk off tones, as we'll see just now on the chart with the Japanese yen as well as the Swiss franc being some of the key movers coming to the end of the week. Alright, we have unemployment rate for the AUD, so this is something that we could potentially bank on, as well as employment change looking to be lower than the previous. This Thursday, we have interest rate decisions again, so we have quite a few interest rate decisions coming to the end of the year, looking to remain the same, so we'll see what that does. Also, the ECB interest rate decisions. Okay, I actually need to check these on Forex Factory, because I know sometimes my FX book in the past would have given you some news events that was going to happen, and I saw it regularly happening for like ADP employment, and it just keeps on moving down until a different date, and I was like, what's going on here? That doesn't make any sense, but we'll see, right? I believe they fixed that issue, so everything should be accurate, but we'll see. Right, we have jobless claims again for the US dollar, and this is pretty. We had jobless claims like every single week for the past 2 weeks. Alright, and that seems about it for this Thursday. And Friday, I'm not trading Friday, so it doesn't really matter what happens Friday, right? We have some BOE speeches, we also have the S&P Global Services PMI data coming out, so that's something that we should see affecting the indices as well. All right, so that's it. More so what we need to pay attention to at the get-go is the interest rate decision on Wednesday, and on a Tuesday we just have the inflation news as well, right? And these could actually be a precursor, or sort of like give you an insight as to what they expect when interest rate decisions do come out, depending on any numbers and movements that we do get from price here. If we see a correction, then we could more than likely see same thing happening for the interest rate decisions. So that's it. And let's take a look at the charts, what we'll pay attention to. All right, so I'm just gonna clear this off here. All right, so CAD CHF, I am more so on the bearish side when it comes to the CAD and the US dollar, right? But if you take a look at the Telegram group, you will see that I was bullish at the point of time, but that was because we could have seen a deviation in the price action movement, right? When we have that US dollar and CAD dollar correlation, all right? And that was one of the key factors as to why we entered that trade, and we actually were able to bank on that trade because of these technical moves that we do see in price action from time to time. Now, with that being said, taking a look from the daily time frame, you can see that we are in an area of resistance, right? A very key strong area right here. You can see price retested this area multiple times and failed to break higher. Again, with the fundamental aspects coming into play as well, I do think overall we will see more of a risk off tone, and therefore see price action push to the downside in favor of the CHF and the yen. Now, I am more biased to seeing price continue lower from this high and complete this range bound move that we are seeing currently. So this is sort of like the trade idea for me right here on CAD CHF, and it's one of the more cleaner trading setups. All right, so this would be sort of the trading scenario that I am seeing right now. If we actually take a closer look, depending on how markets open and the price action moves that we do get, maybe here for 15 minutes we could get into a better entry as price break lower below this point here, right, for a continuation moving down. All right, but for now, this is sort of like what I'm seeing right now as a possible trading setup. continuing on for the rest of the week, I'm not bullish on the CAD right now with the US dollar news coming out, right? The fundamental factors for the US dollar coming out. I do think overall we would see more of a bearish move. All right, when we do have USD weakness, we usually do see an increase in the safe haven currencies such as the CHF as well as the Japanese yen. This has been a universal truth for quite some time, and there's no reason for that truth to be changed right now. So this is sort of like everything aligns for me for this to see this continue moving down. Right, on the technical side, we approach that very strong key level. On the fundamental side, we have the expectancy as to what to see from price action as well. So with that being said, this is sort of the trade idea for me right there on CAD CHF. Looking at something else too on AUD CAD. Now you can see that we had multiple moves on this. We got multiple profits on this. First, when price was going down, we banked on that. When price came here, we banked on that move moving up. And then from here, we banked on that move coming back down to which part price currently was, right? This was actually extended all the way down here, but you see that we closed right here, coming to the market close last week. All right, so let me just clear this out. Actually, let me draw it up right now. All right, so what I'm looking at for this is a reversal. All right, again, now with the AUD and the CAD, I am more of a risk off tone approach right now, but we also need to pay attention to the CAD and US dollar correlation, that weakness. All right, if you do see a weakening in the US dollar, more than likely that's going to be reflected here on the Canadian dollar as well. Okay, so with that being said, I am more biased to seeing price continue moving upwards from this level. If we get a strong retest of this level, then it would be an indicator for me to possibly go long on this, right? So let me just remove the drawings here so you guys can see it more clearly. This is the level that I'm looking at right now. All right, so initially when we had price moving up from this key area here, we had where it's kind of halted, retested into this area. We had a push above, price continued moving up. We reached to this high and then price rejected. Right, if we take a look from daily, we can see if it have any daily high, so key areas pay attention to. All right, so we've seen that the daily highs are a little bit more above that. Right, for our perspective, we can say that we are in sort of a range right here, a very large range. Right, if you want to take a look at it like that. However, looking at it from forward, not really giving too much of a clear indication of the price action movement, right? Could say it's range bound, but at the same time, I don't think that gives the clearest indication as to what we could expect to see price do. Now, again, this is me approaching it from a fundamental standpoint. If price does retest into this area, I'll give it time to actually see it retest deeper into this area right here. And I would actually go long if price manages to break the high of this candle here. All right, so if price continues going down, that's cool, that's whatever. Again, fundamentally, I'm more biased to seeing the CAD weaken and the AUD climb a little bit. Right, that's my perspective, that's my take on it. So what I would like to do is, if that is to be the case, then once price breaks the high of this candle here, there's no reason to see a full-on retest or pullback lower after that, right? We should continue moving higher if that is the case. So this would be sort of the take on AUD CAD for me, right? That's sort of what I'm looking at right now. And these are the only two trades I'm interested in: AUD CAD, CAD CHF right now. Everything else kind of range bound. We can actually take a look at the yen. Let's take a look at GBP JPY right now. So GBP JPY, and for a lot of the yen currency, yen cross pairs, we can see that we had a very strong downward move, right? Taking a look from a daily perspective, we can see that price on this day, this would have been Thursday, right? Price pushed pretty strongly to the downside, right? And however, we did get a strong rejection from that candle, so we're seeing price basically respect this sort of level, right, that we do have here. However, I think it's too early to say whether we're going to see a continuation of that downward movement or we're going to see a correction and price pullback to the highs here. You can see that the candles over here have become increasingly smaller because of that large move to the downside. So we'll wait and see, and this is reflected on GP, JPY, NZD, JPY, so like the same movements, Euro, JPY, and even the AUD, I think the AUD as well, right? So yeah, you barely even saw the change right there. It basically looked the same. All right, so that's something to take note of. I'm not going to overly be too interested in GP, JPY right now until like, okay, maybe we see a breakup of the highs here, right? And then we could possibly see a continuation higher, maybe a retest into this area here, and then see what price does. But right now I'm not too overly focused on too many pairs, just the CAD CHF and the AUD CAD, right? Because it has the cleanest sort of movements for me, right, to pay attention to. So with that being said, it's just like a taking it easy right now. Don't stress yourself over looking at every single pair. That's something that I have to work on for myself as well. For the month of January, right, next year, I am going to be only focusing on some of the AUD pairs, like AUD CAD, for instance, USD CAD, if we do get cleaner movements, yeah, USD CAD, and your USD as well, so I'll be paying attention to. And it'll be more so swing movements possibly, but I'm gonna be only paying attention to maybe one particular pair. If I do like a pair, I'm gonna watch that pair and look for the best possible setup that I can get on that pair, instead of jumping in 2 trades here, 1 trade here, just to overall manage my risk, as well as keep my trading as minimal as possible. More quality trades, less than the quantity, and it's more about the quality of the trading setups. All right, guys, so that's it for me. CAD CHF looks beautiful for that downward continuation, and AUD CAD looks beautiful for that upward continuation. All right, all of this is banking on CAD weakness that we could possibly potentially see coming up. All right, guys, so thank you very much for joining in on this video. Hopefully you found this information informative and you got some sort of value out of it. If so, then please feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe if you're not already subscribed for future updates. We are going to be doing this regularly. We'll start back the live streaming as well. I know some of you guys have missed that. And yeah, thank you for having some patience waiting on me to come back, because I know some of you were questioning where I've gone. Just personal issues and stuff going on. All right, so thank you very much. It really helps on the channel. Peace, and hope you guys have a great week. Peace.